On the 5th of May 2023, a passenger pulled the emergency activation alarm after seeing smoke rising on a packed train at Clapham Common Station in the London Underground. With the doors locked shut, what resulted was a huge panic, with over 500 passengers fighting to escape the train through any means necessary. Join us as we investigate using videos and CCTV images of the incident to try and understand how the complete lack of emergency management on the Underground escalated the already tense situation. Train number 065 was a 1995 tube stock consisting of 6 cars and entered service in 1997 for use on the Northern Line of the Underground. On the 5th of May, it entered service at 7:49 AM at Morden Station and operated normally with no issues reported. At 17:19 PM, there were reports of a fire at a set of points on the Northern Line. Despite this being dealt with very quickly, there were significant delays and an announcement was made over the tannoy at all stations informing passengers of the fire. These delays were causing a build-up of passengers on an already busy platform at Clapham Common Station. As seen in this image, at approximately 17:42 PM, train 065 arrived at a busy Clapham Common Station, with people waiting to enter the already full train. You can begin to see smoke rising from underneath the train as shown. At this point, it is not fully noticed by any passenger, will begin to enter the train. Once on, however, and with the doors closing, the smoke became more visible, and passengers who already had heard of a previous fire on the Underground began to be more visibly concerned. At 17:43 PM, the train departed, however was brought to a sudden halt after travelling just 35 metres with 2 cars already into the Underground tunnel. A passenger in car 4, where the smoke was strongest, pulled one of the passenger emergency alarms. These are situated on each car of the train and allow a two-way conversation with the train operator after applying the train's emergency brakes. The train operator on train 065 was fully aware of the stop and attempted to contact the station's emergency controller. However, the line was engaged as they were dealing with a separate incident. Even though the communication is not recorded, at the same time the train operator testified that he was attempting to communicate to the passenger, however he was not understood. A passenger on the platform who could see the smoke grabbed a platform customer service assistant, but as they were about to run towards the train, they were held back by the customer service manager, who instead instructed them to close the station's entrance gates to stop passengers entering the station. With the smoke intensifying and with no help from the train operator or any Underground staff, passengers began to panic. Passengers who were on the platform pulled 2 fire alarms, which automatically prompted an evacuation announcement to the entire platform, further escalating the matter. This unbelievable video shows passengers smashing windows and attempting to pry open doors to escape the train. You can see the panic etched on people's faces within the train as the doors remain shut. After 4 minutes, a customer service assistant finally arrived and manually opened the door to let the remaining passengers out. Out of the 500 passengers on the train, over 100 had escaped through windows or broken doors. The RAIB arrived later in the day to understand what caused the smoke and why no staff were around to help. Due to the unique position of the platform, being similar to an island between 2 running tracks, there has been a greater focus on safety at Clapham Common Station due to the potential of passengers falling onto the tracks as shown. As a result, 6 passenger help points have been installed as shown, including the deployment of more station control staff, especially during busy periods. However, these were found to be totally ineffective on the day and made matters worse. Luckily for the passengers, the panic and overcrowding occurred as a train was already stationed on the opposite side of the platform as shown, creating a barrier for passengers to not fall onto the tracks. The RAIB found that passengers did not receive any communication with regards to why the train had stopped or what to do next. This, combined with the doors not opening and the increasing volume of smoke, resulted in panic and an urge to get off the train. When looking at the train operator's role in the incident, they found that he did not follow the rulebook. In the London Underground's Rulebook 7, titled Train Incidents and Safety Equipment, it states that when a passenger applies the emergency alarm, they must assist their train to a stop, tell the controller, tell the passengers what's going on, and investigate. Even in Rulebook 1, titled Communication, it states, the longer passengers are held on a train, the more likely they will become anxious. Regular announcements are essential to reduce stress. The RAIB found that over 10 calls were made between station staff and controllers instead of someone actually dealing with the incident. This huge amount of calls was a result of no CCTV images of the situation being seen at the control room in Highgate, as there was an ongoing fault in the system. Staff were also found to be hesitant to open the train's doors from outside without contacting the train's operator, as the train was already halfway up the platform. The RAIB made significant recommendations, such as making the Underground review its entire emergency procedures and reducing safety risks on Clapham Common Station. As for the cause of the smoke, an investigation found that the source was excess dust gathered on the brake resistors due to a system known as regenerative braking. This is the process of using the train's electrical motors to produce electricity, either for the train or to put back into the grid. Any excess energy can be dissipated as heat in electrical resistors. This was the location of where the smoke came from. The RAIB recommended the frequency of maintenance to be increased on the resistors to ensure they are frequently cleaned. This was an incident that escalated due to bad practices, and which the London Underground were lucky there were no casualties. Thanks for watching my real life horror video channel, and please subscribe for more.